man.
What is going on, everybody? Holy crap. It has been...
No, it's holy shit, Eric. Holy shit. Get it right.
I think I did my last Lowdown episode in March, actually. That was episode 3. So this is episode 4. This is long overdue. It's just been kind of crazy as of late with everything. But glad to be back. And of course, today I have some awesome gentlemen with me and possibly a few others that are going to trickle in here a little bit late. But of course, you guys kind of know a couple of these guys. They've been on here regular and stuff like that. And of course, they're co-hosts with me with Monsters with Attitudes. So of course, first, let's introduce Joe Myers, married to Kaiju. What is going on, buddy? Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, buddy. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to talk about all the craziness that's been going on the past couple of weeks, man. There's so much news and new stores and a bunch of goodies. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, below him, like I said, co-host, Monster with Attitudes, Kaiju Ramen, Mr. Michael Hamilton. What is going on?
The Kaiju groupie. Actually, bringing back the old moniker for a little while, trying to dust that old bitch off, you know.
I thought it was Kaiju Floozy.
Kaiju Floozy?
Floo, there you go. That's what I like.
I mean, you did just give me shit for owning a Peloton, so.
And also joining us, we have a new face that hasn't been on here yet, but I'm glad he's able to join us. Super awesome guy. Met him at G-Fest for the first time and just so glad that he got to hang out with us and everything. And overall, just cool guy. He does great content. Glad to call him my friend now and everything. And he is also joining our little group here and everything like that, but that's a little bit later. But Elijah Thomas, thank you for coming, buddy.
Thank you for
Elijah, one of my favorite people.
Crowd goes wild.
One of my favorite people when he's not sending dick pics to people.
Thanks for having me. This is I'm happy I could forcibly make this work and once again make work suffer from -1. So
absolutely put it to the man.
It's what matters, man. Priorities.
It is.
Awesome. So we're gonna cover a couple topics today. There is one big one that obviously a lot of us already know about and everything that kind of dropped early this morning.
Yeah,
but
the new episode of Godzilla Island's out now.
Yes, that's exactly
episode 53.
But we're gonna save that for last. So we're gonna do a couple other things just real quick, just to kind of kill some time while our other little co-host is going to be jumping on here and everything like that. But first, I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Where are you? Right
Eric, may I just say, can we say hi to Oscar, the ever loyal?
Absolutely.
He's in every single stream. What's going on, Oscar? Thanks for always coming in and saying hi.
Every single effing stream, Oscar.
Yes, he's the man. He's old reliable, that's for sure.
That's for sure. He's like that old Pinto that you just can't get rid of because it still runs so good after all these years.
And yes, that was my little handmade countdown that I just tried to do something different and everything. It was just fun. It was finally my first time I got to use it because I had been saving it for this show and everything. So yeah, and then of course I want to say hi to Alex Sawyer. What is going on, buddy? Thanks for
Hey,
joining.
Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
Good friend also. So it's glad you could be here. Oh yeah, of course. That's yeah.
That's the main event, Alex.
That
That's
is the main event. It really, really is. So, but first, let's see if I can. I'm trying to get a decent layout here.
Are we gonna watch it together?
We can. We might have to watch it without sound, but just
Yeah.
getting to see everything again. Just because otherwise we're gonna get the band hammer and everything because it's Toho, so they're pretty stingy about their stuff. So, but yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about briefly the new Godzilla store, the US site that just was launched, I believe, last week. Just wanted to touch base on it a little bit and kind of get your guys' opinions on overall, what do you think and what do you think this is going to do for us US collectors? And anybody can start. Fire away.
I'll start. I actually made some purchases on it. I love it. I'm excited for this. It's easier access to some things that we either had to use a proxy site, which meant it was more expensive because we had to pay a percent to the proxy site plus international shipping and stuff. So I'm excited for this. This really makes me, happy that so much of this stuff is going to be more easily accessible. And on top of that, there's a lot of things that have been quote unquote sold out for years that are on this site. One of them being the Bandai King of the Monsters stuff from 2019, which I saw on there, and some of the monster arts that have been sold out or have been, really upticking in prices, and the prices are great. And on top of that, free shipping on everything $150 or more. Right. And then there's 15% off with a code, which I don't know if the code is still valid. I thought maybe it was just the first week or so, but
first order.
Yeah, on your first order,
first order.
I ordered the X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla 2000 or 99, and I got the Super 7 Glowy Hedorah and the Super 7 Glowy King Ghidorah, and for everything it was $255, which it should have been I think it was $325 if I remember correctly.
Now, Joe, I have a question. Did they take the cash immediately for that pre-order, or is it like Big Bad Toy Store where they don't take it until the thing ships?
I didn't pay attention. I'm pretty sure they took it right away.
Right.
I can actually, while you guys are talking, I can actually look that up and let you know.
Because I was curious. I was actually curious because I was looking at some stuff here today. I haven't actually pre-ordered the 30 centimeter Godzilla 2000 yet, or Godzilla 99, whatever. I haven't actually pre-ordered that yet because I have the the W Dragon one on pre-order as well, and I was debating on if I needed or wanted both. But I was just curious if they took pre-orders immediately or when they ship.
So it looks like, according to my PayPal, I have a charge for $255, which was the total. Which I know a lot of people prefer to not be charged until the pre-order is out. I'm the opposite. I prefer just to have it on my credit card so I can, because I pay off my credit card every month. So I hate, because I forget. I pre-order too much, and I'll forget, and then it seems like everything hits at one time, and I don't have the funds. So I would rather it hit right away, and then I can just pay it off, and then I don't have to worry about it once it ships or what have you.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, according to my PayPal app, it said minus $255. So it looks like they charged it right away.
Now I'm looking at their site here, and it doesn't look like I find it really fascinating that, like you said, Joe, there are things on this site that that are quote sold out,
Yeah.
have been sold out for months, if not for like literally a year.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if maybe, or how long this has been in the works, and if they've just been keeping inventory back to have for the site.
It seems that way, especially case in point, the Super 7 glowies. They were very popular and they sold out very fast, but they had stock on the US store. The Monster Arts 2019 King Ghidorah, I believe the one they had though is actually the reissue, if I'm not mistaken. So that one probably is a little bit more readily available. However, it's still like it's getting harder to find. So just the fact that like they had this stuff on there is pretty impressive to me, that they must have been doing something to, you know, hold some type of inventory, or they had said, hey, you know, we're going to be, or maybe they ordered double or whatever, because they knew they were going to be launching this in the future. But like I said, there's even Bandai's from 2019 from King of the Monsters that unless you're a dealer that had a large inventory like we did at Beast of the East that still had some left over, those things were pretty much sold out, and you were paying secondary market prices for them.
Right. Yeah. And this one thing that caught my eye, I don't think I'm going to buy it, but the thing that caught my eye was the Yuji Sakai statue, the 2004 poster version that's been sold out forever.
Yeah.
They had that on there. Then you have the Godzilla tooth, the I'm looking at right here with Eric's screen, the maquette, the G Store exclusive maquette that sold out a year ago, or well over. I think it was been over a year ago since that figure came out.
Yeah, and actually, this is the red version, the dorsal spine red version, which was a Godzilla Store exclusive.
Right.
So they specifically either held them or made some more or whatever to put it on the Godzilla Store with that specific version too. So that's pretty cool.
I did, and I also noticed it. The prices are very, very reasonable.
Oh, absolutely.
The only thing I saw that I thought was was that Criterion collection. They have it up on the store. I think you zoomed past it a little bit ago, Eric. I want to say they had it for like $220. Yeah, $225. That wasn't what Amazon had it for, was it? I don't remember spending that much for it.
They're charging MSRP for it. Amazon always has it at a discounted price for some reason. So it's supposed to be $224, but it's never really been at that price on Amazon. Yeah,
it's always been like $212 on Amazon. Has always been the going price, or it fluctuates, moves back and forth. And I was the idiot that bought two of them, thinking, you know, I could thinking it had a good resale value, but apparently
that's scalper mindset. I tell you,
I know.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
I don't even remember paying $2 when I got it. I thought it was like $150.
Oh, mine was like $110 or $112 when I bought mine.
I remember $112
because I bought mine when they had the big Barnes and Noble sale.
Yes, you're right. Yes, that's what it was.
That's when I bought mine. Was the big Barnes and Noble sale, and I ended up buying two of them. Like I said, thinking, okay, it's gonna move up in value over time.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, if you bought two of them at $112, you could sell one for $2. You know, make some of your money back, and it's still $25 cheaper than the store.
That's true, but it's still not as cheap as Amazon. So.
Oh, Amazon still has them.
Amazon still has it. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
I also wanted to point out too that like a lot of this stuff, a lot of this is from U.S. companies that are making Godzilla products, especially this this T-shirt line from Ghost X Ghost, their Metalcropolis line. As you can see here, the Godzilla, Hedorah, and Mechagodzilla. Now, these are time releases where they give you about a week to buy this stuff and then it's gone. Right. And they might bring it back one more time in like a different colorway. But these are actually pretty limited and because I myself got the Imposter Mecha Godzilla in the original blue colorway from Ghost X Ghost, and now I see that they partnered with the site here and did the t-shirt again, but did it with a yellow colorway. So that's really cool that they're going to get a lot of these US distribution companies, t-shirt companies, toy companies, all this stuff, partnering with them and saying, hey, we're going to throw your stuff on our site too. Just another way for people to buy these products and stuff like that in case, one of the websites goes, sold out and stuff like that. You have an alternate site to try and buy this stuff. So, but yeah, a lot of good stuff. God, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I know me and Joe have kind of talked about this and laughed about, but I think the biggest thing that we saw right away when this site hit was that they were selling the FSL Destroya, the perfect form.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I bought it on the initial release from X Plus, and I think I paid like $1,100 with shipping. Joe had got his at Chief Fest for a little bit more, just because it had already been sold out. The pre-order window was already closed, all that stuff. And then they throw it on this site for a ridiculous amount at like $600. And then you get, the 15% off for your first order, and they were giving free shipping.
Yeah.
So some of these people got it for like $700, and it was a steal.
Right.
A steal. So a little mad about that, but I'm just glad that people have the chance to actually get it.
Now, my question is this going to be the way we purchase from is this going to be the way we purchase Rick items now, or is that all going to be still through the Rick store?
I would say still through the Rick store, but we should be getting all of the Godzilla store exclusives through here
this
also.
site. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So everything Godzilla store so for example, we'll get, and just since we're on topic, the Godzilla the Ride Godzilla, the version that was the Godzilla store exclusive. It was was it the translucent spines that was the G store exclusive? Was that the one? Or was it the light up? I can't remember. Because there was 3 versions. There was a standard, there was the dorsal, there was the translucent, and then there was the light up.
The translucent was the store.
That's what I thought. So
the blue spines translucent, because that's the one I have.
Right. So that one is going to be so that one in theory would have been on this site to be able to pick up for pre-order.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And like we talked about, the Red Spine Maquette 2000, that was a exclusive G store exclusive kind of thing. You couldn't get it on the Rick site and everything like that. They just had I believe just the normal one, honestly. And that's it. So I mean, yeah, as long as we start getting these G store exclusives like the Japanese site does, like that'll be nice. As long as they keep it the very same as the Japanese site, like this is going to be a game changer for a lot of us collectors. So, but with that, obviously you guys saw the realist Goji has popped into the discussion here. Jordan, thank you for joining us, buddy.
What's going on, you guys? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, pretty decent.
Is there like an echo?
No echo, just a little soft.
The man with the greatest spice tolerance I have ever seen.
No, bro. We do not talk about it. I miss you guys. How's everybody been?
Good, man.
Good.
Awesome. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm going it day after day. Sorry that I popped up a couple minutes late. I had to travel at least to 3 different types of towns to try to find my dog some food. Yeah.
Oh man. Sucks. But yeah, perfect timing. We were just talking about the US Godzilla store and kind of what it means for us collectors. Do you have any thoughts about, what this could mean for like you or anybody else?
Oh, listen, I think it's amazing. Mind you, I've already been shopping on the original website, the Japanese website. Um, so being that this is a lot more of an easy access to people who really don't know how to mess with like the whole mumbo jumbo stuff of trying to log in and make an account for the Japanese website is truly a blessing. I think this is a great addition to us kaiju fans, especially the more diehard Godzilla fans. Like just yesterday, Michelle, she was looking on the website for a couple of things. It's like, oh my god, this is so much easier than the Japanese website. That's also a good, sign for just an easier way to shop for whatever it is that you guys would want Godzilla related. I absolutely love it. I even like that little the key change right there with the Mighty Morphin and the Godzilla packet. I
Yeah.
think it's amazing, especially including the Dragon Sword. That's my go-to. So yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, because it came in a little 4-pack and everything. And yeah, it was, I can't remember. I think it was a year or two ago. But yeah, like them doing this kind of stuff, bringing it back, like that's really cool because obviously all of us know it's hard to get San Diego Comic-Con exclusives because obviously if you don't go there, they either sell out or you just don't get that chance because that's why they are exclusive. So them putting that kind of stuff on there, like that's a big deal.
But I want that dope jacket.
Yeah.
So there is 3 Sukajan jackets. There's more, but the 3 that I've looked at is this 84 one. There's a really cool red and silver 54 one, and then there's this amazing gold and blue Kiryu and Godzilla one
Yes.
that I love. And I'm like this close to the next paycheck that I can throw at this store. I'm this close to just saying, screw it. I will purchase a $400 jacket and I'm going to get it. I'm this close. Like I love those Sukajan jackets. They're beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah, they are. It's just for some of us bigger guys, you just can't trust the Japanese sizes.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was looking at because now at a 2XL, it's just big enough because the chest width for their 2XL or back width, whatever, is 64. Well, 60. Hang on. 64 centimeters. So I don't know what that equates to in inches. So I don't think this jacket's going to fit me because it's made for smaller Asian bodies. I feel like.
Yeah. I might be able to do it XL.
You would probably be able to. I doubt that Joe, Eric, and I, even Jordan, might not be able to do that.
No.
You would, not us. Though.
No.
So what you're saying is I should purchase it.
What I'm saying is, just do it. Just do it, man.
I have a $500 cart right now. So
Jesus. Hey, but it's 15% off your first purchase.
True.
So keep that in mind.
So that would be what? That's $15 for every 100 if it's 5.
$75.
Damn. That's not bad.
Plus if you have a big order like that, you'll get free shipping.
You know what? Maybe I will.
Get it.
Maybe next paycheck will just go towards filming equipment in the Godzilla store.
Priorities, sir. Priorities.
And then I can walk into work with a stylish jacket and not eat for the entire week.
Oh my god, I would pay money to watch you walk into work like that.
Hey, we've all gone through lean times before. You would make it. Just go to the park and catch a duck. It's fine.
But yeah, we'll move on from that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch base with that. I think it's really cool. I think it's a game changer for a lot of us collectors and stuff like that. But we're gonna move on to Gamera. Obviously, the anime comes out the 7th, which is I believe Thursday. So only a couple days away. So this thing is dropping. So this is a big deal. I know this is kind of old news because this has kind of been in the works. We've known about this for quite a while, but a lot of us haven't had the chance to really express how we feel or what we think. How this anime is going to go, what we expect, everything like that. So just kind of getting your guys' thoughts and everything about what do you expect, what do you hope to see, all that kind of stuff. So Elijah, why don't you go first?
Well, there at one point was an evil version of Elijah who claims that this is the death of Kaiju, but that Elijah's
Oh my
dead now.
god.
That Elijah's dead now. I killed him last night.
Yes.
So no, I'm actually excited. I did say that for me, if it's awful, like that's Gamera the Brave is so amazing that I could take her to leave it. Like if it's awful, I still got that. If it's great, cool. Like I'm happy either way. I'm a little worried about the whole like pushing the kaiju wrestling thing and not a lot of other stuff. But there is a lot of positive reviews for the first episode because of the theatrical showings in Japan over the last few days. I'm hopeful. I love the lineup. It's basically Katakawa stealing the Trendmasters line. I love it. I think all the kaiju look pretty good, and I'm hopeful that we have something here that's really good. I mean, from what we've seen, my only problem is it looks like they may have cut a few corners on the animation, but besides that, like it seems pretty solid. I'm excited to see how what the overarching story is with I think there's only five episodes, 6 episodes.
6, yeah, 6.
I'm curious to see how that goes because I mean that's not a lot of time to tell a story. Maybe it is. So I mean, it could be peak anime cinema, or it could be the death of the kaiju renaissance. It depends on what alternative personality you're talking to.
Do you think we're in a kaiju renaissance right now, Elijah?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're like we haven't even hit the peak yet. I think we're still
Or
on
are
our
we
way.
over the peak?
No, we're not. No, definitely
Are we
not.
on the downslope?
Are we the downs?
No, I think we're
Guys are a
still
bunch of
rising. We're still rising. I don't think we've even hit the peak yet. I think this year we had a lot of content, but I think we're going to have more content in the future. So
It's strange that you say that because like I've heard another person, another friend of ours say something completely different in recent conversations.
really,
Yes.
what was their name?
Brick Tamlin.
Oh, I know Brick. He's an asshole. Don't let his stupid comedy fool you. He's secretly a troll.
Do you guys like the drummer Travis Barker?
Yeah, he's okay. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering.
I hate him. I really hate him. So
He's a talented drummer.
moving on. Jordan, what do you think? What are your hopes? What do you think about this show?
Obviously, being a kaiju fan, this was a complete shocker that Gamera first and foremost was making a long-awaited comeback. And my biggest concern was that if I understand correctly, Polygon Studios, Polygon Pictures is what's making this anime.
No, this is all in house with Katakawa. They have a huge anime division, so this is all their own stuff.
Okay, because I figured that wasn't the case because I was talking to one of my really good friends about it, and he thought that that's what it was that Polygon was going to be a part of it. But in terms of like the animation, being a huge anime advocate, I'm not so much of a fan of the 3D aspect of anime. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't feel obviously traditional to what is anime.
Yeah.
Um, Even with like a little, Singular Point was okay. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But other than that, being that Gamera again is making a comeback, I'm extremely excited about it. Elijah, I'm surprised that you're not so much of a fan of like the pro wrestling gimmick that the monsters are going at with one another. I love that. I mean, that's the reason as to why kaiju fights are so infamous. You know, is because they inspired all that professional wrestling. And being that this
Right.
is anime, I would love to see those fight choreographies extremely animated and just overall out of the blue. So overall, I really don't have any like negative thoughts about it other than the animation. I guess one of the other things I am concerned about is how well would this play out in the future? God forbid if they do continue to push for maybe possibly two or whatever the case may be, just for Gamera as a whole. But overall, I'm extremely excited. I'm stoked. I told my entire family, I told Michelle, listen, nobody's bothering me the day that Gamera Rebirth comes out on Netflix. So that might be a whole nother video for me on my channel, discussing like my thoughts of the anime. But overall, that those are my personal thoughts on Gamera Rebirth.
So, real quick, I'm curious. Um, I know a lot of fans of like kaiju and tokusatsu have said recently, like they don't like the CGI. Like they prefer men in suits in the traditional tokusatsu. Is that kind of what it is in the anime world with 2D to 3D?
Um, I think it's at least for an anime fan because I've seen I've came across plenty of anime fans that have told me, listen, we don't know what it is that you like about Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? It's cringy, you know, the whole man in the suit. And I get it. It's not for most people, you know, or for some people. I think for this specific case, listen, if it was men in suits, I think we would all be having a different type of discussion about Gamma Rebirth. You
Right.
know, but because it is an anime, I've said this when was it Monster Planet or Planet of Monsters when the first 3D Godzilla anime came out, it
Mhm.
should have been traditionally 2D hand drawn. That's what anime is, and being that, especially with that, I'm assuming a lot of more of the Netflix anime series, a lot of it's 3D, you know, Godzilla, Ultraman, and now Gamera. I mean, granted, Ultraman that's a whole nother topic of conversation. I don't know if anybody here has watched the the, um, the anime Netflix series of Ultraman. I personally love it. But to what would really salute this to more the anime fans instead of the kaiju fans, in my opinion, they had to have gone with the more traditional 2D art style that is anime. Because again, it's about tradition. You know, you can't contradict that into mixing it into something that you believe is, oh, you know, this is what's going to draw the modern day audience. Not so much really. You know, I've seen plenty of 3D anime, and I'm just like, ew, like looking at them is just it doesn't hit the same as it is 2D. Though I will say the monsters, like looking at this image right here, they look absolutely insane. And Elijah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It gives you a Trend Masters vibe. So seeing these, even with the little bits of shots that we've had in the trailer of how the monsters will be duking it out, I'm excited that that's the route that they're going for, and they actually um ended up doing that instead of it being slow paced as to how Godzilla Earth was. Especially that horrendous fight with him and Ghidorah. That was just that's a whole nother topic. But I think that for me was what would really solidify this anime in terms of just traditionally making it an anime. It had to have been 2D in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. Like I agree. Like I'm a big anime fan. I know Joe is too. But just having that traditional like cell shading drawing of anime, I think would have put a lot of these shows even another tier above what they are. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of the 3D animation, but I can live with it. It's not a deal breaker for me. Same thing with this one. Like I would prefer this animation be completely different. Like if we got what we got from SSS Gridman from Trigger, um, this show and the Ultraman Netflix show, like all of that would be way above in my list for how well they are. Because I just go back to that typical anime style with the drawings and stuff like that, and it's just like for example, like a lot of the improvements they've done for anime. For example, the newer Dragon Ball Z Super movies or Dragon Ball Super movies, like that animation is 10 times what we have now. Like if they were to put something like that into a kaiju anime, good Lord, I think everybody's jaw would be on the floor, honestly.
Yeah.
But like it just shows that there is that level that they can hit, but they just haven't hit it yet. Which gives you hope. Maybe, they might change it up, if this does well and everything. Obviously, we've heard rumors from even Kadokawa themselves saying, hey, if this does good, there could be a second season, or hey, there could be a movie in the works with this. I think this is really just testing the waters and everything. But yeah, I just think if they just want the traditional anime style with a lot of this stuff, I think a lot of people would just like it more and they would connect with it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that I think or not Elijah, but I think our friend Danny pointed this out on Kaiju Weekly last night that Gamera has been very late to the party. Godzilla is always going to be there, and then under Godzilla there's Kong, and then there's Ultraman, and like it seems as though Gamera has always been very late to the party in terms of like content and things to merchandise, etc. So this anime is definitely the proving ground. This anime is going to serve as the proving ground. Jeez, I can't talk today. For what comes next. Like if it's successful, regardless, I hope it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be on if when it comes out and I don't like it, at least I'm going to be honest. And I hope fans are going to be honest as well. I don't want Gamera content just for sake of having content. I want actually good content. And if this anime sucks, I mean, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed because I firmly believe that this thing needs to be successful for Kadokawa to say, "Oh, this is a viable property to pick up now." It needs to be successful. But regardless, and I think this is something that Danny said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Elijah, but Danny said that it's not going to matter if it's good. If it's good, it's not going to. If this is good, it's not going to matter how long Gamera has been away. The only thing that people are going to be focused on is if this is good or not.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think, man?
I agree with pretty much what everybody said. I'm very excited for it. Love Gamera, like all of you guys do. I do wish the animation was different. I don't like this polygon pictures look or whatever that we got in the Godzilla anime films, and in this I think that people would relate more with actually drawn animation, or and you brought up the Dragon Ball Z film, Eric. I thought that was good, but that's still almost, it felt too video game cutscene, and so that's my only kind of gripe about it. But I love the monster picks that they did. I like the designs, all that's fun. I hope it is good. I hope it's entertaining. I don't know a whole lot of what we could do or what they can do in just 6 episodes, just 6 22-minute episodes or whatever. So I'm kind of worried that maybe like the story isn't necessarily going to be there, because it seems like it's going to be one and done each monster. But I'm cautiously optimistic on that. Like I said, I love the redesigns. That I hope it's successful, because I wouldn't mind a part 2 if it's good, but I want a Gamera movie. That teaser concept that we got a couple years ago, was that, I mean, it was what, 7 minutes, and it was
The,
beautiful.
the
It was
film
amazing.
festival one. Yeah, the film festival one, Joe. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. So I would love to see something like that put in a movie form. Don't crush it all into one movie, but maybe do another trilogy or something. And another thing I don't think any of you guys mentioned was, and it probably flew under a lot of people's radar, but this could potentially be a huge, huge, huge thing, is Gamera and Godzilla for the first time are teaming up in a officially licensed property in that Godzilla Battle Line game because of Rebirth. And while it might not seem like much, we're just getting Gamera and Gauss as of now for characters. However, that opens the door to where if these companies are finally willing to work together in an official way, maybe we get something where the next film it is actually a sequel to -1. Maybe Gamera gets in there, or something. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that Toho is wanting to take over the Godzilla properties again and make their own world of monsters or what have you. And they've been trying to get Gamera off the ground for a few years. Maybe that's the way. Maybe there's a very positive reception with Gamera in the game. Maybe the anime does very well, and they're just like, hey, you know what? We got a lot of positive press about this, a lot of positive response. Let's do something where we put these two in a movie, or even in an anime. If they put them both in an anime together, eventually they'll do a live action. So I'm very optimistic about this whole show, the whole anime show, and I'm just really optimistic and excited about the whole future, because I think that the door is open for a lot of really cool possibilities that we've all dreamt about for years. So bring it on. That's what I say.
Yeah, like I agree. Like I think they're finally realizing that they need to put Gamera in the limelight again and get his name out there again. And I think me and Joe, we were talking one time where, I think a lot of this, like Kaiju Renaissance, especially a lot of like the sharing of the IP and stuff like that, where a lot of companies are able to use the characters and all this stuff, where they're making new lines and everything, making new products and stuff, going into video games and stuff like that. I really do believe that I think it's just because of the turning of the tide for who's the head of these companies, for Toho and Kadokawa. Like, I think it's because they're finally realizing, hey, we can't just stick to our own things and we're the ones that control it. We need to let this thing blossom and give it away to other companies to run with them.
Mhm.
And we're finally seeing that, especially Godzilla. We kind of saw that this last year, where they were, given the property to a lot of companies that we never would have thought were going to be able to make products for Godzilla and stuff like that. And they're seeing, hey, they're probably seeing an income from them, letting these companies use their characters and stuff. And it's just finally, maybe Kadokawa is seeing it and maybe going to follow suit, with what like Subaraya has done for many, many years now, is that they're able and willing to let other companies use their, their characters and stuff like that to make products and stuff. And, they, make money off of it. And finally, maybe these younger head ups, from Kadokawa, from Toho, maybe they're finally getting through to this older regime that, like, hey, like, this isn't the way anymore. We need to start spreading our wings and let other things happen. And it's good to see, and hopefully maybe we'll see this more with Gamera. With obviously they're going to be in that game, and now we're getting the anime, and hopefully this is enough to like show them, hey, there is still a want and a need for Gamera and its licensing and all that stuff, and they can start doing other stuff with it. Like it's that the possibilities are endless realistically. So like I'm excited to see where it actually goes, honestly. Anybody else have any comments about the anime in general or concerns or
I want to see
anything like that?
Godzilla and Gamera team up against the horde of Gauss from like the ending of Gamera 3, where they're just nerfing them. You know, I want to see a post-apocalyptic world of monsters. Humanity is like humanity's on the brink, like what happened in Final Wars, but there's just hordes of Gauss and other monsters, and the pollution and the mana is so low on the earth that these new monsters are waking up. There's legions and legions and legions and legions of Gauss, and maybe even Kamacuruses and Kamungas and Megaguirus and all this stuff. And I just want to see Godzilla and Gamera have to go through all their villains, whether it's in live action or anime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them just go badass against these things.
I want to piggyback off of something you said, Eric, and I want to ask Elijah, do you think this has anything to do with sort of the changing of the guard within Toho and Kadokawa?
So, and this is kind of in reference to Battle Line and whatnot, right?
Sort of.
So here is the unfortunate aspect of the kaiju genre. While yes, we are going through a renaissance, it has not been proven to be the most successful. Kadokawa had a huge bomb at the box office a few years ago in the Great Yokai War 2 Guardians, which featured the return of Daimajin. And that bombed critically and financially. Another one, Toei. Toei came back to the tokusatsu or the kaiju sphere outside of Sentai with the co-production with Shochoku, which was a huge thing. Shochoku's only kaiju movie to their name was The X from Outer Space, and then their pseudo sequel that was kind of a co-production between them and Minoru Kawasaki's company, Monster X Strikes Back. And What to Do with the Dead Kaiju bombed at the box office and critically. The unfortunate thing is these big companies somehow have not been able to find a sweet spot for producing content. It seems like we have a movie coming out in November that's going to break that trend, but I think Kadokawa realizes they need to start playing it a little safer. Great Yokai War 2 made them lose money. And Shusuke Kaneko wants to do a fourth Gamera movie. He's pitched a fourth Gamera movie to Kadokawa within the last 5 years. 6 years. Yeah. So there's a desire to make Gamera content, but the problem is we live in a we live in a world where that's kind of risky to bring Gamera back, which is unfortunate. But I mean, if you look at it, Gamera has always been a lower risk than something like, say, Godzilla, because the budget has never been on par with Godzilla. So Kadokawa needs one of two things needs to occur. Kadokawa needs to find a way to make put Gamera into the limelight, because unfortunately Gamera is not even well remembered in his own country. Gamera's kind of a B to C rate character in contrast to your Godzillas and Ultramans and Sentai.
Yeah.
So they either need to find a way to jettison him into the limelight, or they need to find an alternative route where it's a cheaper risk. So Gamera Rebirth is a cheaper risk. We've been told if it does well, you can expect a season 2 potentially, or a live action series, or even Shutsuke Kaneko doing a Gamera 4. All of those are on the table if Gamera Rebirth proves to be successful. But I also think with Toho working with Katakawa, I do think that does open the doors a little bit more, because this is probably the biggest thing they've done. They have interacted. There's been some stage shows, some magazine appearances, some video games that both companies worked with, and a handful of other things. But this is the first time that they've really been this interactive in a collaboration outside of a stage show. So it'll be interesting. I think Toho sees Battle Line as kind of this just gold mine for collaboration, because they've worked with Subaraya for Shin Ultraman. They worked with Sunrise, I think is the company name behind Evangelion, and Toei for Kamen Rider. It's kind of their thing to kind of just license characters onto that app. So we could see more, but I think Katakawa also needs to build up confidence that this is something worth going for. And I do think if we were to get anything between Toho and Katakawa, it would end up being a animated series. I think that's the easiest way for them to do this stuff, and not a live action film. Did that answer your question?
Sort of, and I think the likelihood, if we do get something live action, from just Gamera Solo or Godzilla and Gamera, it's gonna probably have to have a partnership with someone like Legendary to make it happen.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. And, like I said, it comes out Thursday. All the episodes are being dropped right away. So be prepared. I'm excited. It has been a while since we've gotten some Gamera content, and I do really like Gamera. Obviously, a lot of us do. So, yeah, I'm really hoping for the best, and hopefully everybody watches it and watches it several times and keeps it on their top 10 list, for Netflix for, quite a while. So it just shows them that, hey, people are watching it. So, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, let's move on to our main event. Okay.
Gojira, -1.
-1.
What's this about? I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
It's a new Gamera movie.
Oh,
Don't you see the
crossover.
turtle? Yeah.
So
we're finally getting G versus G that we've been waiting for.
They hit. I'm not gonna make that joke.
So I think we should watch the trailer before we start talking about this stuff. Just because so we can kind of get it fresh in our brains.
Oh, trust me, it's fresh.
I know for you. You've been on a binge.
He's probably got a no, not gonna make that joke.
I've already recorded a 2-hour podcast.
look at that. Number 6 on trending, 1.4 million views.
Wow.
It's done extraordinarily well.
Yeah.
Extraordinarily well.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah. I mean, there was 3,000 people waiting for it last night before it even dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even this. Now this is the this is going to be the English subtitle, so you can actually see it and stuff like that. But and I will be playing it without sound just because of the band hammer. Toho is very picky about this stuff. But at least we get to see it. If you want to talk about it, while we do it, that's fine too. I mean, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, you should go see it or see it again after this with sound, because it's pretty powerful, man. Just the music in this is going to be great. I mean, it reminds me of Shin Godzilla with their trailer and their powerful music. Like I'm excited. So, but yeah, without further ado,
the music to Shin was one of its best parts.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, let's get to it. So, like I said, if anybody wants to talk through it, fine by me.
Nobody speak.
Oh, that's phenomenal. That train
Beautiful.
just being tossed onto the railway. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Actually got a huge following is specifically when he started his of cinema to Japan. And that's what we're getting here. This looks like a Showa movie with its color grading and all of its vibrant colors and whatnot. And this is exactly why Yamazaki is one of Japan's leading filmmakers.
Now, I want to just highlight something that splash screen that said in theaters nationwide with options for real 4D with nationwide release, IMAX, Max 4D, the whole 9 yards. This is getting a proper release. This is not some bullshit Fathom event. This is going to get a proper release.
So I have the details on this too. This film is breaking the record for the widest release a Toho Japanese film has ever had. It's getting over 500 screens in Japan, and it's going into over 1,000 screens in America. This is the widest release that a Toho film has ever had in the history of Toho's existence for the last, I want to say, it's been over 100 years. This is their largest release. They have never put in, and Toho's distributing it stateside. They have never put in this amount of money and this amount into a film. The closest would be Godzilla Final Wars, but even that did not do nearly as much as this film has done.
Leslie, I would like to just say that if I was working that day, I probably would take the day off to go watch it. And two, I plan on going to Nashville and hang out with some friends to watch this movie regardless, because it comes out on December 1st, but December 2nd is my birthday. So
we're going to party it up.
So we're going to party.
And I would just say that I technically just got promoted. I can't write myself up. So
Yeah. and I work from home, so my schedule's very flexible.
Yeah.
I could leave in the middle of the day, watch the movie, and come back.
I just straight up told my boss, I said, hey, first weekend of December, I won't be in town. I'm going to be gone. And I requested those days off. You should probably approve.
And Eric's probably requested those days off too.
Well, yeah, because I'll be watching it with this guy. We're getting together, and we're gonna see it together. So yeah,
we haven't figured out the details, but we're getting together.
We will,
whether we're meeting halfway or something.
Yep.
He said, Jesus Christ.
And I'm sure that honestly, like if we have time, we'll probably see it twice.
Oh yeah, like I think
absolutely.
I plan on seeing it a couple times.
I would imagine there is going to be a dub and a sub version of this released in theaters. Maybe. What do you?
Maybe. At least subs. I feel like it would be crazy for Toho not to do a dub. I feel like Toho's smarter than that.
Yeah.
That being said, I will say I need to beat my Godzilla vs. Kong record of seeing a movie in theaters 11 times.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, you did what?
So there was this
you don't even like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
There was this virus that went around in 2020. I'm sure you guys didn't hear of it. And the theater shut down.
So many
I'm sure
things
you
I could have
guys
said right there, but I'm reeling it in.
This is not the show, Joe.
and
there was a virus, that's for sure.
And this virus caused theaters to shut down. I'm sure you guys didn't even notice. And so when Godzilla vs. Kong came out, I was like, I'm going to throw all my money at the theater. And that was the only movie I could see. So I would walk to the theater every day and go see it twice for like a week.
Damn.
Are you talking about the Kung Flu?
We're gonna get banned on YouTube. for making
Stop
that.
it. Oh my god. So
Uh,
yes.
We're gonna get a COVID denial tag on this video.
So yeah, I was just showing here these pictures. I guess the original -1 poster, the first one that we got, and then they just released the newer one with they added Godzilla to the -1. Also, they put the IMAX 4DK and all that stuff on the bottom, and also put the cast at the top with the director and the score director also. So.
Well, here's the question: did we get the cast we wanted? I'm looking at specifically Elijah because Elijah was.
Hold up, we're gonna get to that, and then I will let our boy just have the floor. So, but until then, I gotta reel him in, okay? So,
All right, fine. This is your show, Eric.
So, and then here's on the left side. I believe this is another official poster with the debris kind of leading up to Godzilla, but the one on the right, I believe, is fan made. I'm not 100% sure, but I just thought it was cool. I thought it was job well done, and I just kind of wanted to showcase
I like the one on the right more.
Yeah, I really do. So,
I like the one on the right. The one on the left reminds me of the Mondo 2014.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
if
exactly
if
what
this
I
was
thought when I
red
saw
and
it.
not blue, it would look exactly like it.
This whole movie. Well, I'll wait. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sure.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to showcase those. And then I should probably give this to Elijah because this is his boy. Like, he is fanboying over this guy hard. No, I'm not exaggerating. Like,
Emphasis on hard.
yeah.
Elijah's had a hard on for Yamazaki for ever since this was announced back in November of last year.
I knew about it before it was announced. I've been hyping it since I heard about it.
Now, what makes me excited, because I'll admit I'm not well known or well versed with this director, but just hearing about what, like, you've said, Elijah, and everything and other things I've heard, like, this makes this film very promising. It makes me even more excited the more I keep hearing about him and what he likes to do, the type of work he's done, like his vision has me very intrigued with this film. And I showcased a little snippet there of kind of his backstory and everything. He's won multiple awards in Japan, and even Japan themselves think that he is one of the leading filmmakers in Japan. So it says a lot for him that a lot of people are saying this. It says a lot that he has won basically the equivalent of an Oscar in Japan. He's won several of those. This is, I don't know if you could get any more perfect of a pick for this than this guy for directing a new Godzilla movie. So, anybody else have anything to say about him before I unleash the beast?
Let the poor kid talk. Look at him.
Well, Jordan, how about you? You haven't said anything for a little bit. What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't follow a lot of like directors or like acting careers for like actors, especially like for that of Japan. So just hearing that nice little biography of him is really promising that this movie is gonna be truly an amazing watch. But I guess I'd rather hear what Elijah has to say.
Okay, everybody else good? Everybody else good?
We're good.
We're
good. Go ahead.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. All right, Elijah, floor is yours, buddy.
I don't think there is an alternative choice in the entire world for somebody who could understand what was written on the pages of the script of the original Project G by Takashi Kimura and Ishiro Honda from 1954 than Takashi Yamazaki. Yamazaki is a director who, from the moment he accidentally got his first directing gig, has only wanted to create something of an event. And as Yamazaki has developed his style, there are certain things that he knows how to do that has created this artist unlike anything we've seen in the franchise. If I had to pick a director to relate him to, I struggle between Shusuke Kaneko and Ryuei Kitamura, director of the Gamma Trilogy and GMK and director of Godzilla Final Wars. And the reason I say that is he is much like Kaneko in terms of thought and detail. Yamazaki has written almost all of his movies. There's a handful he has not. He usually adapts films. He's only done one film that's technically original, but it draws influence from a lot of Western science fiction movies. That'd be Returner. Takashi Yamazaki is probably one of the greatest writers in Japanese film right now. His Parasite movie, the first one, I cannot tell you how I can't articulate how brilliant that script is. I've never watched a movie that was made to have sequel bait that not only made me want to watch the sequel, but also made me fine with where it ended. It's hard to, okay, just tell me where you want me to go with this. Like, there's so much. There is so much here.
Yeah, you can just do a little.
Just do your fanboy speech and
just do like an overview. Maybe on maybe a little bit of his career.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Well,
just,
actually,
just so people know who he is.
Well, Elijah, I want you to do, if you can, I want you to kind of talk about the evolution of his Godzilla, because
that too.
His Godzilla has evolved and has actually remained pretty consistent throughout the years that he sketched it and played around with the idea of doing a Godzilla. He's wanted to do a Godzilla movie for a long time.
So that's actually a great way to work all of this into it. So Yamazaki started as a VFX person. He started working as an effects supervisor and just like somebody who worked on visual effects. That was where he started. He started with special effects. And in the late 90s, the company he works for, and now he's basically is known as his company, Robot Communications Productions, they were wanting to do their first film. And he pitched a yokai movie. They accepted it. They said, "Can you write this?" They wrote it. They ended up not having the budget for it. So they turned to do a movie called Juvenile that he wrote. He took inspiration from a childhood favorite of his called Doraemon, which is important to his history. So when they needed a director, he didn't even want to be a director. He just wanted to do special effects and writing. But he ended up in the director's chair. And after that, he ended up doing a movie called Returner, which, if you have the Sony Godzilla DVDs, you've seen the trailer for that. That was a part of the deal that Toho made with Sony, was they had to release Returner and all the Millennium Godzilla films. So that's widely available for pretty cheap in America. And from there, he just kept, he's adapted Space Battleship Yamato into a live action movie. He's adapted Shin-Chan, which has crossed over with both Shin Kamen Rider and Shin Godzilla. His claim to fame is his Always Sunset on 3rd Street trilogy, which that's where he got his first Academy Awards. They're hailed as some of the best drama pieces from Japan. They even so to kind of jump on what Michael wanted to, Always Sunset on 3rd Street 2 has an opening that every Godzilla fan from the late 2000s and early 2010s knows, because there was always a rumor going around Toho was developing a new Godzilla movie, and we had the first look at it, which was the opening to Always Sunset on 3rd Street 2, where we had the Ifukube theme, brilliantly redone by Naoki Sato, Yamazaki's right-hand man when it comes to composing. And it's really good. Like, it's very moody, it's very quick-paced, it's very interesting. And the Always films, the Always Sunset trilogy takes place in the Showa era. This was where his period pieces really started to shine through, was he wanted to create and harken back to the classic Showa era of Japanese cinema, which was the biggest time for the industry as a whole. Japan was booming at that moment in time. And he also did a movie called let's see. So after the 2 Always films, he ended up doing I want to say there was a movie in between. I don't remember. He did the first 2 Always movies back to back. Then he did Space Battleship Yamato, and then Always 64, which was the 3rd film. He ended up doing an adaptation of Parasites, which was a manga from the 90s. And it's worthy to note here that he loved Parasite and always wanted to do an adaptation. He always wanted to do an adaptation of Space Battleship Yamato. He loved Doraemon so much that he basically did an adaptation under the name of Juvenile, and later got to do 2 animated movies based off of the IP. Everything Yamazaki has wanted, he did. He ended up doing a movie called The Eternal Zero, highly controversial, but won more Academy Awards. It was about Zero pilots in World War II. He did a movie called Fueled, A Man They Call Pirate, covering the topic of the oil industry following World War II. He's done some animated films, Lupin the Third, the First, Dragon Quest: Your Story, Stand By Me, Doraemon 2, one called Destiny, the Tale of Kamakura, I believe it is. He's done a lot of different movies. He's done animated films, he's done sci-fi epics, he's done space operas, he's done dramas, he's done period pieces. But one that got him the role of doing a Godzilla movie is a movie called The Great War of Archimedes, which is a movie about the development of the battleship Yamato. So for some added context, every film that Yamazaki has worked on was through Toho. Toho has worked with Yamazaki since he started in 1999 with Juvenile. And they've watched him grow. Some of the tropes you've seen as he's developed is he is the leading CGI director. He is the only director in the world, I think, that can get away with saying, we'll do it in post, and it actually work. In the film industry, people who say we'll do it in post are typically inexperienced filmmakers that don't know exactly what they're doing, so they expect it all to be done after shooting. But Yamazaki did that a lot in specifically Returner, his sophomore film, and it worked. We ended up getting this cool sci-fi action movie that's got a lot of heart to it. But he knows how to do CGI. His scale for both Space Battleship Yamato and The Great War of Archimedes is amazing. The scale, his eye for scale is beautiful. He can do giant objects in a typical standard cityscape, and it look amazing. He wanted to do so to go back to Great War of Archimedes, he wanted to do a movie about Yamato as well. Everything he's ever wanted to do, he's somehow been able to do. It's a miracle. And during the development of Great War of Archimedes, it's the story. It's a fictional story on the development of the battleship Yamato, which is the largest battleship in the world. It's if you measure it from bow to bow, I believe it is 435 feet long. So that's larger than any Godzilla, this minus Godzilla Earth, of course. But the funny thing is, it was very impractical, and by the time it was made, it was basically useless. But the Japanese government used it as the symbol of pride and hope for the imperial military. And during the development of Great War of Archimedes, one of the Toho executives, Ichikawa, the producer on Shin Godzilla, approached him and said, "Do you want to do a Godzilla movie?" So this was back in 2019. And Yamazaki said, "Yeah." Much like how they did Shogo Toyama did with Ryuei Kitamura. For anybody who doesn't know that one, Shogo Toyama, the producer of the Heisei or of the Millennium films, for the 50th anniversary, approached Ryuei Kitamura, this brand new, young, bright filmmaker that was creating genre films that everybody loved. His claim to fame is a movie called Versus. It's a stylized zombie movie. Toyama approached him and said, "We're doing a 50th anniversary Godzilla movie, and we want you to do it. Would you be interested?" And Kitamura was, I mean, the rule of thumb is if you're offered Godzilla, you don't say no.
Yeah.
Godzilla is quite literally the largest IP in Japan when it comes to film, specifically just film. And watching Yamazaki grow from 1999 to 2019, Toho was finally willing to say, "Do you want to tackle our biggest IP?" Which is amazing. And what's more amazing is it wasn't on a giant monster movie. It wasn't on a horror movie. It wasn't this idea that they had to have experience in giant monsters to create a giant monster movie.
Yeah.
Just like how Ishiro Honda started with dramas and war pictures, what got Yamazaki the job was dramas and war pictures, which is amazing. It's weird how 70 years later, we've circled back around to essentially the same setup as Ishiro Honda.
Yeah.
And Yamazaki spent 3 years developing the script. It wasn't one of those things where it was a year and done. He took 3 years to carefully figure out what he wanted to do, because since he was a child, he has wanted to do a Godzilla movie. He has done concept art of Godzilla for decades. He's talked about Godzilla. He, in an interview for Always Sunset on 3rd Street 2, he specifically said that if he ever were to do a Godzilla movie, it would have to be set in the Showa period, because that is a direct link to Godzilla. Godzilla is undoubtedly Showa era, and you cannot take that away from him. And that is where he belongs. And here we are, 15 years later. We are seeing a movie that is set in the Showa era, that is following the exact... he is following in the footsteps of Honda to a T. He is doing a Godzilla movie that will not hold back, that will not shy away from the problems of... So when Honda was doing 54, he had specific things he couldn't do. He couldn't really do World War II. He couldn't show like the atomic bombs. He couldn't show Japan losing. It was a morale thing. It was a whole thing about ensuring that they didn't destroy the film industry, and they didn't like mess up the country morale after rebuilding for the last 10 years. Yamazaki's not afraid to do that. He's already exploited how stupid Japan was during the war, and he's tackled some really heavy topics. He has went out of his way to create controversy just to spark that discussion. His movie Great War of Archimedes is basically Oppenheimer for him. And I won't spoil Oppenheimer for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I'll just say the side that Nolan picks for how the bomb should be like viewed is very neutral. he explores both sides of it. And that's what Yamazaki did for the battleship Yamato. How it was a good thing for the Navy and that country pride, that morale, but also, it was awful. Yamazaki, there's been some controversy that he's pro-war and like pro-imperial military. And I went digging and I found a few interviews where he made it very clear that he's very anti-war. Very anti-war, much like Honda, which just adds, that just adds to this guy understands what Honda was wanting. And this movie is going to tackle that as true as you could possibly tackle it. I actually did some research before the stream. There's a clip with some battle cruisers on the ocean. And if you look at their design, it's ones that appear like the ones that appeared in Bikini Atoll, which, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, Bikini Atoll was where the Marshall Islands were, and that's where Castle Bravo happened, March 1st, 1954, which is what created the Lucky Dragon number 5 incident, which is what birthed Godzilla. What's interesting is in April of 1947, there was a planned atomic testing called Charlie. That was the code name for it. That was supposed to be done, but the U.S. military ended up canceling that atomic testing. But if you look at what they're showing, Godzilla's awoken by something. Godzilla is angry at something. It says in the subtitles that he won't forgive us. And I'm of the opinion now that perhaps they're going to make it so that the atomic testings known as Charlie that were canceled weren't actually canceled, but they were trying to kill something. And that angered that thing. And that's why we have Godzilla. And this film will cover Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I would be genuinely surprised if it does not show that. I will be surprised if it does not show Hiroshima or Nagasaki or just the nuclear bomb going off. It's going to show a crippled Japan. It's going to show a corrupt government. It's going to show this film will be so politically charged that this will be very controversial, and a lot of people will hate it for that political aspect. If you think Shin Godzilla is political, this is going to be a whole nother level. This is going to be the truest 54 movie we've had since 1954. And it's going to bring to the table so much that is going to... Eric, you said it best last night. This is going to set a bar for Godzilla movies that I don't think will ever be hit again. And there's so much. I mean, we could dive into so much. I'm going to let you guys kind of take over now and kind of jump off that. But no, Yamazaki is a genius. And we're in for a treat.
No, yeah, like that's exactly why I wanted you to kind of just tell people who don't know about his backstory, where he's coming from, what his ideas are, what his takes are, kind of thing. And yeah, like hearing that stuff even from last night when we were waiting for the trailer to drop, like that kind of stuff, like got me super intrigued, got me very excited for this movie, got me excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And yeah, like this, you explaining all this stuff last night. Yeah, I said that, like, this is going to bring the bar to a whole new level, and it's going to be more impactful than 1954. Just because of if the things that he shows, that like what you were talking about with the Nagasaki, Hiroshima, if he shows that stuff on film and everything, and then the aftermath, and then Godzilla, like, that's something we never got in 54. and it's never something that we've never gotten in a Godzilla film, period. So it's going to be super impactful, it's going to be super heavy-hearted, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a step above 54. If everybody has their favorite as 54, I think this one is going to topple that one for a lot of people, honestly. So, but so yeah, enough about the director. Let's go into the cast a little bit here. Again, there's not a lot of people I know. I know of some of the movies they were from, kind of thing, but their career-wise, I'm not really sure about that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of these actors are a lot newer, obviously a lot younger and stuff like that. So they don't have the backlog like a lot of us, or actors, actresses that have done Godzilla movies before, kind of thing. Like it's new blood. It's everything is new, and stuff like that, which is good to see. And I am excited to see their performances and how well they do and stuff like that. And yeah, does anybody else have anything to say about, like, does anybody else know anything about any of these actors besides Elijah? Because I know he has done extensive research on them also and stuff. So anybody have anything? No, nothing. Well, Elijah, just a little snippet or whatever on maybe a couple of these. I know the top two are the main characters, and then you have your side characters below and stuff like that. But yeah, just if you could just give a little insight of maybe a couple of these, at least the main characters, or if someone else is significant in some way.
I do want to ask the question again, Elijah. Is this the cast? Is this the cast you wanted or expected?
So okay, I'm thrilled with this cast. I had heard some murmuring about some of this cast already, but I just held out to see what we were going to see, and I'm not upset at all. I think there might still be some more supporting cast members we don't know about. I feel like there's a handful that we can and I what Adrian said in the chat there is I agree. I feel like this might end up being one of the best Godzilla movies of all time. So this will, going forward, we might have to try a little harder to keep it going. I think there's still a few that might pop up. I know there was at one point a rumor of Kazuki Kitamura coming back, which for anybody who doesn't know who he is, X from Final Wars. He's done a few Yamazaki films, and he's always a joy and a delight to see. He's not in here. I'd like to see him show up, and even just like a supporting character role. Like, I'm perfectly content with that. And Yamazaki's done that. Heisei Gamera trilogy actor Yukijiro Hataru played the school principal in the Parasite duology. So there's still opportunities for some classic people. I'd love to see Kenji Sahara maybe appear, or Namikawa. Oh my god, my brain's
Kumi Mizuno.
Kumi Mizuno, I'd love to see her show up, or Akira Kubo. I'd love to see some Showa actors just casually, like, in the film.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'd love that. But as for our announced cast, we have Ryonosuke Komiki, who plays Koichi Shishikima. Who he was the child actor in Great Yokai War, who also reappeared for Great Yokai War 2 Guardians. He was also in Big Man Japan, which is a comedy kaiju movie. Besides that, if we're talking about just kind of stuff related to kaiju specifically, he was in Yamazaki's film Ghost Book, which is it's got a giant monster in it, and it's all about yokai. So yokai, he's in a lot of yokai stuff. As for he's the main character, he's the lead actor. For your supporting actress, you have Minami Hamabe, who
Yep.
plays Noriyuko Oshi. She's not done as much. Most recently, she was in Shin Kamen Rider, as one of the leading supporting characters for that, which that's really cool. She was also in the Great War of Archimedes, which is great to see. A lot of these people were in some of Yamazaki's other films.
Yeah.
So that's your main two. That's your duo. But I do want to point out Sakura Ando, who is a very prolific Japanese actress. She hasn't done a lot of tokusatsu, but she is probably best known for Love Exposure, the Sion Sono film, which is hailed as one of the greatest Japanese films of all time. She was also in the movie Shoplifters, which is another highly regarded film in the Japanese film industry. And she was also in the Great Yokai War 2 Guardians. We have a lot of great Yokai War 2 actors and actresses, so it's great that SRS Cinema is going to be putting that out here at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Besides that, I do want to kind of throw this at Michael. I'm surprised you didn't bring up how Yuki Yamada's in this, who played the Blue Ranger in Go Cager.
To be honest with you, I haven't seen Go Cager, so that's why I missed it.
Well, he's in this movie, so
Nice.
you might want to catch up on your Go Cager a little bit.
I mean, Megaforce is one of the best seasons. I'm kidding, it's not. But no, I do need to catch up on that. I need to catch up on a lot of the mid and early 2000s Sentai, because like I'm just not as familiar with that era of Sentai as I am with some of the earlier stuff.
Right. And then the last one I'm going to highlight here is Hidetaka Yoshikota.
Oops.
He is playing Kenji Noda, who is the scientist we see in the trailer and there in the bottom left-hand corner. And the reason I'm highlighting him is he has worked with Yamazaki since his debut film in 2000 with Juvenile. He was in Juvenile. He was in all three of the Always Sunset on 3rd Street movies. He was in Fueled, A Man They Call Pirate. And this is something really cool that makes this film even closer to the Showa era. Something that was very commonly found in the Showa era was the appearance of Akira Kurosawa actors. I mean, you had Takashi Shimura, who is a very prolific Akira Kurosawa actor, who was in 54 as Dr. Oh my God,
Yamane?
Dr. Yamane. He also appeared in various other films following that, and a handful of others. But what's really cool is the actor in -1 that's playing Kenji Noda, was in some of Kurosawa's final films. He was in a Rhapsody of August and Matadeo. So in true Showa Godzilla fashion, we have a Kurosawa actor in the movie playing one of the supporting cast members, which just adds just like this little novelty that I love. Like that's really and honestly something special that we're still kind of carrying that tradition, even though we are now 70 years removed of some of those, of the 70 plus for some of those movies. Which is just, I love that. I think that's really and honestly awesome. This is a stellar cast. I thoroughly believe that this will end up being some of the best actors we've had in a long, long time for Godzilla movies. and I can't wait to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Moving on. All right. So obviously we've all seen this kind of stuff. We've seen the promotional pictures of Godzilla on everything. We'll give Elijah a little bit of a break here. He talked a lot. But what, out of you other guys, what do you guys think of this design? I know some of us have kind of expressed that we like it and everything, but like especially like Jordan, like what is your take? What do you think of this design of Godzilla? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you
Oh my
change? You
God,
know,
it's,
any
I
of that stuff.
absolutely love it. It's beautiful. It does pay a lot. And for me personally, excuse me. Me personally, especially being that this is a Toho um movie coming back from Shin Godzilla. I think Leslie's well aware of this. I know Adrian is. Maybe even Samson. But I personally think that the overall design of Shin Godzilla is a little bit overrated. I do like how unique it is though, and I do like after rewatching it recently, the fundamentals of what that movie stood for. Um, but in terms of the overall design for minus Goji, because that's what I'm calling it, not the official name of what this.
Thank you for saying.
We get in trouble. We get in trouble when we call it the official name.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, they could have just
What-
stuck with minus Goji, but
What's the
Exactly.
official name?
We ain't saying that. Nope. Nope.
negative. But they put two to two together.
we'll say it off air.
We'll say
Yeah.
it.
We'll say it off air.
We'll say it off air. We'll say it
If
off
it's
air.
official, why is it bad?
You'll find out when we say it off air.
You'll find out when we say it off air. We'll just say all we'll say is he's a real one. That's all we're gonna say.
So, but
Okay.
in terms of design, it does really capture the aesthetics of the classic Godzilla look. I know some people were nitpicking that. Oh, well, the dorsal plates are too big. I personally love how agitated they are as amongst the previous designs. For me, even like going back to when I first originally was introduced to Godzilla, my preference of Godzilla is basically a format of what you see right here in minus Goji. The Showa, the Showa look, the Heisei look. When we got to more the Millennium era, how the spikes were more sharp. You got to see like little bits of skins that were popping up that had like some type of spiky texture to it. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of Godzilla like that. When GMK came around, that was like, oh, like, by the way, that's my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. It really did capture my liking to Godzilla a lot more because of how smooth and texturized Godzilla was as how he looked previously in the Heisei and the Showa era. Fast forward to this bad boy right here, it really does fit that stature to what Godzilla traditionally looked like. I love I didn't even notice until like when really going over the pictures. I love how they're like spikes protruding out of his like forearm. Really gives it a different look to Godzilla. Overall, I'm happy that they stuck with the ride design, which is a little bit more added features to it. I absolutely love this design.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think?
I'm a big fan. I think it looks great. Looks like old school Godzilla. You could see inspirations, I think, from almost every era of Godzilla. I'm, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Jordan hit it on the head. I like the visceral kind of raw look to it. He looks badass. I mean, he looks powerful and evil and threatening and scary and uh I love it.
Or you, Michael?
I think I love this overall. I think it's 95% there. I have I have two nitpicks about it that I wish were the case.
Okay.
I want more pronounced eyebrows, like on 54, and I want ears. Where the hell are the ears? like that. I want the 54 ears for this. And there have been fan mock-ups like that have kind of like they've not changed anything about the design except for the face. I'm not like I don't hate the face at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I wish there was some more, Showa era features worked into the face, like the ears, more pronounced eyebrows, like in 54 and 64. That's what I would like to see. Overall, I think this is a great mix of Heisei, Millennium, and Legendary. I think that's what they're playing. I think this is what Yamazaki was playing with. That's where he took the inspiration from. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Elijah, or is this even the case at all? Didn't Yamazaki actually kind of like the design for Legendary?
Yamazaki was commissioned to redesign the Legendary design.
That's
or
what
the
it was.
ride.
Okay, so there is a connection there. So I knew there was a connection.
Okay.
So I like the oversized dorsal plates. Those do not bother me at all. They remind me of Mirigoji. Godzilla 2000 is what they remind me of. And just I will say, I think you and we all talked about this last night. I don't know. It's all kind of a blur, but the skin texture on this doesn't necessarily remind me of keloid scars. It looks more reptilian than keloid scars. I kind of wish that it was a little bit more scarred up in a way. Now, maybe this is just not a good shot, or we'll see more of those details when the film comes out. I'm sure we will. Yeah. But I wish that it was a little bit more scarred up than it is. I can see it kind of in the tail, like looking at the right picture here, like how the tail is looping around. Those keloid-like scars are kind of there. Mm-hmm. But overall, like I just kind of, I like where this is going. Just some minor nitpicks like the ears and the eyebrows, I wish were a little bit more Showa-ish.
Yeah, it's understandable. Yeah, I love this design. Like I fell in love with it when the ride came out and everything. I was like, holy crap, that is a sweet mix of multiple eras into one. And honestly, like I think even the -1 now, I think they tweaked it even just a little bit more from the ride. To even make it a little bit even better than what we got from the ride. So I'm all on board for it.
In your opinion, will this dethrone Shin as the official face of Godzilla on like the tags, the merchandise, the stickers, etc.? Because Shin has been the poster child for Toho for 7 years now. So will minus Godzilla take its place?
I'll say if it does as well as Shin, then I think it could turn the page and this could be the new look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that it almost has to. So here's the big thing to think about. Toho has probably put more into this movie than Final Wars at this point. Which that's the most expensive Godzilla film ever made. Toho has put so much in that this is going to break records just by production, like not even box office yet. It's going to break records. It has to do better than Shin Godzilla to be what they want it to be. Yamazaki, I didn't mention this, but Yamazaki in 2014 held the spot for #1 and #2 at the domestic box office with his Stand By Me, Doraemon, and the Eternal Zero movie. His movies constantly are like top 20 of the box office for the entire year. So the fact that he's involved, the fact that Toho's distributing it as this is getting more distribution than the Demon Slayer movie, which is the highest attended Japanese film of all time. It's getting more showings than that is. It has to. That's what Toho wants this to be. Mm-hmm. And I wholeheartedly agree with this comment here about this setting a new bar, 100%.
Yeah. All right. And then we got a few screen grabs. Obviously, we've kind of seen this picture. This came out with the little teaser and everything. Everybody was going gung-ho about his face and what he looked like and stuff. I just love it. He just looks so pissed off and mean. and he just doesn't give a crap. I mean, in this scene, obviously in the trailer, he literally goes and bites down on the train. I mean, it's so good.
And Eric, to kind of add on to that, I think what really hits that home is when in the trailer, the main character says that monster will never forgive us. That line right there, and I said this last night. In Japan, grudges, especially for like in J horror, grudges are like not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
When you talk about J horror, if there's a grudge or a curse and you get it, you're screwed. You're gonna die no matter what. So the fact that they are establishing that Godzilla has a grudge is horrifying, because we've already seen that Godzilla is willing to literally step on people. He's seeing everybody. This Godzilla is not the nice Godzilla. In King Ghidorah, when they say that this Godzilla will destroy Japan, this Godzilla will destroy Japan. This Godzilla has nothing nice about him. He is going to kill everybody.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, with you saying that, like, it brings me back to GMK, where they were like, "Yep, this monster has a grudge against the Japanese people about the forgotten souls and everything like that." This is the same kind of concept where he is pissed and everything, and but like this, to me, it's like a step above GMK and how mean and aggressive he is going to be. I mean, because obviously GMK showed how mean, aggressive, and let's say petty he was, where this little things he did and he didn't give a crap. This could be even a step above that. I mean, we've already seen him trampling people right on screen and stuff like that. So, like, this is going to be crazy. And then here's just a shot. I thought I really dug this one, where you can kind of see him swimming. Obviously we saw Legendary do a lot of this in their films with that. It's good to see that Toho is kind of taking a page from their book. But I do love that it seems like they're going to be focusing a lot in the water / like naval fights and everything that we haven't seen in quite a while, actually. Obviously, besides, Godzilla X Kong and stuff like that, where we got that, that fight out at sea.
And we're getting bright white atomic breath.
Yes.
I was getting to that.
That's such an amazing shot.
Yeah, and I'm still puzzled with this one, honestly. I'm still puzzled.
So, okay. I have a little bit after analyzing this and talking about it for 30 minutes on my podcast, I have a little bit more of an idea. So we see our main characters in the bottom right-hand corner, right? They're standing right there watching this.
Yep.
The building right next to them is the Hattori Clock Tower, which is, we've seen that clip of it being destroyed in the aftermath. So this is not a nuke, because if it was a nuke, there wouldn't be anybody at the Hattori Clock Tower. So there is either a bomb that's going off that the U.S. military is trying to use, or there could be a secret something in this building that they're at. But whatever it is, the shockwave is going to kill all these people that are standing right here. But I thoroughly believe it is a U.S. military weapon, because if you look at the footage following this event in the destroyed clock tower area, there are protesters protesting about what happened. So why would they be protesting unless something bad happened that kind of came back and went the opposite direction of how they wanted to go? So I'm thinking that this is a U.S. weapon that failed, that didn't do anything to Godzilla and just cost more Japanese lives, which would cause more political tension between Japan and America and create more friction in trying to solve the issue.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Joe?
No, I'm gonna wait actually till off stream because it could potentially be a spoiler.
Oh.
After something he just said, so I'm gonna ask the question after because I don't want to spoil it. I know there's a lot of people that don't want to know stuff. So
And then yeah, this is kind of going back with Michael. Yeah, I love this. I love that we, theoretically it's his atomic breath coming out of the water through, and I believe he's going after one of the battleships, and it basically explodes, kind of thing. So I just thought it was a really cool shot and everything. It was really fast too, like. You blink, you miss it, kind of thing, and you don't even realize that it's his breath. Honestly, so it's kind of hidden in there, but yeah, you really gotta see it and everything. So
you think it's bright white?
I think it's a little subtle, like the subtle blue.
I'm with Eric.
Michael? Michael, you think it's white? You're muted, pal.
Oh, sorry. I think it's white. I think they're going white with this.
Really?
That would be nice.
I think that it makes sense. Like there's no like this is so bright that it has to be white, right? White, right? Okay, I'm rhyming a lot. Like because even when you saw Legendary's breath come up out of the water, it was blue. It's definitely white breath.
Or I was thinking like in the 60s, like it was like a hint of blue, but like super light blue / white. And I was kind of thinking that where it's not like completely white, but it's not like blue. It's like that real subtle faded blue almost to white kind of thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. Then, of course, I think one of the pictures that kind of we're all intrigued about, honestly, on what happened to him, for him to get this scarred. And obviously, you see the back where it's all black. Obviously something went off.
Hang on for a second. I don't want to cut you off, Eric, but whoever's spamming the chat with Godzilla Guy Raid, shut the fuck up. Thanks.
Yes, please do not spam the chat.
Please don't spam the chat. Anyway, continue.
It's just I'm very intrigued with this shot of why and how he got hurt and everything, scarred. Obviously, it's a fresh wound and everything, so it is interesting. So
go ahead and kick out the MonsterVerse series, please. Just go ahead and kick them. There you go. After all the spammers have been dealt with, we will.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I love
We
interaction.
love comments, but we don't like children coming in and
we don't
spamming
need
the
to
chat.
come in and act like kids. We're all adults for the most part, and we want to have a interactive and adult conversation. We don't need that. So, but yeah. Anyways, what do you guys think of this scene? What do you think happened? Thoughts.
I think he was nuked or at least hit by like a Moab or something. I love it. We've never seen that, and it's one of the most interesting things about that intrigues me the most about the movie. I want to see what leads up to this scene and what happens after this scene.
I think I talked to Elijah. You and I talked about this earlier. I'm really curious if this is early in the film or if this is late in the film.
Interesting.
I think this is where he gets hit with the Spacium beam from Ultraman, if I'm not mistaken. No, but overall, this shot at the end of the trailer, it did shock me. Especially seeing like the result of like the battle wounds. We haven't seen anything this horrendous happen to Godzilla, in my opinion, or as gory since Destroya, when Godzilla's like melting all the way up until there's literally no more Godzilla.
Right.
Is this from the nuke or possibly any type of atomic weapon used to try to destroy Godzilla? Maybe I maybe we'll get more into it. Obviously, if you approve of this, Eric, talking about more in depth of what we want to see in this movie, I'll bring that up later on. But if this is one of the atomic weapons used to destroy Godzilla or to at least fend off Godzilla, then I'm impressed that whatever it is that they're using is enough to just scar him like this. Or if it's something else, maybe if it is something else, I'll definitely discuss about it more later.
Any other thoughts?
So I'll say this. I wonder if this is early in the movie. I think all the comments are very good, educated opinions. On the official 3D renders, you can see some of this scarring in the face, especially. I noticed that when those renders got released first, like when the day those came out, I noticed the scarring and thought that was really weird. I think that this might be early in the film. Maybe this is the 1947 atomic testings in Bikini Atoll, and this is Godzilla waking up and not liking us at all. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I'm actually wondering if that's the case too. If this isn't like a scene immediately after the Bikini Atoll tests.
Yeah.
Or right after the 45 Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings.
Yeah, but this looks to be out at sea somewhere. This looks like to be on an island somewhere.
Well,
what
okay,
makes
so
what makes you say it's on an island
Because
and
the
not
scene
head back to the ocean?
The scene right before this looks to be it looks like a very low angle shot from a boat. I need to go back.
It looked like a dock to me. It looked like a harbor, like he was stepping up on the harbor.
Yep, that's what I was just gonna say.
I think I will say this. I don't think we can trust anything the trailer has in chronological order because I think it's very specifically edited to lead people.
So this is the scene right before we get that last shot of him roaring and he's all hurt and everything and whatever. So all I'm seeing is a ship that is capsized on the right side here and looks like he's making landfall somewhere from sea. So yeah, either it was a bomb that went off in sea and he got hit and he's coming to shore, or something else.
So do you want me to explain what I think this might be?
Sure.
No, because you're too knowledgeable.
You're too damn smart for your own good.
So in this 18-second teaser, we got confirmation that Godzilla comes from the Ogasawara Southern Ocean and heads toward Japan. The Marshall Islands are also south of Japan. So if he gets hit on Bikini Atoll by naval ships and follows them, he would naturally go towards Japan because a lot of naval ships were heading towards Japan for the occupation. So Godzilla's slowly capsizing and taking down US naval ships or even maybe some Japanese ships. And that's continuing to occur as he gets closer and closer and closer. And I think the scene of the ship getting tossed like a rag doll is the first like warning shot, and then we see this actual like naval vessel come flying onto the harbor, and this is Godzilla making landfall for the first time in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
it makes
that's
sense.
my theory.
But yeah, like you said, I don't think we can trust how the trailer is. I don't think it's in chronological order. Like it's, they broke up pieces, they threw it in here and there. So I doubt it's, in order. So yeah, they're trying to trick us. So yeah, that's kind of all I got for the slides and everything. Like overall, is there any other comments or anything like that you guys want to say about this movie? Now is the time.
I do have something to say about the movie. Or this would follow up a question I have right now. Would you guys what how do I word this? Is this more, or not so much more, would this be expected to be a solo Godzilla movie or possibly an unknown source of a versus movie?
Say that one more time, Jordan.
So, do you think that this will be more going towards the route of a solo Godzilla movie, or will this possibly be an introduction to him possibly going up against another kaiju in this movie?
I'm not going to comment because I know for a fact what it is.
Okay. So, with that comment, Joe, I might as well not even finish telling what I would personally like to see so much in the movie, or at least my opinions on it.
I think it's going to be a solo.
Okay.
I mean, well, let me rephrase this. Jordan, do you consider Clifford the big red dog a kaiju? Because he's making a cameo. Godzilla rides him into battle.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Oh god.
I mean, to Adrian's credit, they are doing a really good job of making this into a solo film. I mean, it's likely going to be a solo film. I said that I wanted a versus film, but after seeing all this stuff, I think I'm going to be perfectly fine with it being a solo film.
Mm-hmm.
After everything that we've seen of it so far.
I can't say anything because I know.
I know.
But I will say when we do see the butt monster appear, it gets pretty gory, pretty graphic.
Mm. Oh god. Yeah, I guess my closing statements or ideas or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I just think that this is it's going to be very heavy. It's going to be a bar setter. It is going to be something different that we haven't seen in a very long time. But I'm ready for it. I'm actually even before this trailer and everything, I was actually more excited for the Toho Godzilla film than the Legendary film. Just because we haven't gotten a Toho film since 2016, since Shin, and I just prefer them doing the films. Honestly, it's not. I'm not saying that I don't like the MonsterVerse, and I'm not saying that I hate it, because I still
You
like.
That's
hate
my job. That's my job.
Yeah, but I just feel like they get the essence of Godzilla more because it came from them. They've gone through the events. It's their baby, so they just know how to treat it. Even though Legendary has treated it very well and everything better than some other U.S. companies, but I'm just super excited for it. And now just seeing this trailer, getting to know some information about the director and everything. Thank you to Elijah. That it just moves it up on my excitement level, because it's just, I really want to see this movie now even more. And December 1st can't come soon enough. And even in November when it comes out in Japan, like, good Lord, we're gonna be hearing about stuff, seeing about stuff even before we can even watch it. So it's gonna be tough, but
It's gonna be tough not to be spoiled, especially after November.
yeah.
You're gonna have to mute the term -1 and all the hashtags on Twitter, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to avoid any Bandai listing because Bandai is gonna spoil.
That's what's gonna.
That's the bad thing, is the
That's what's
toys,
gonna piss
man.
me off is the toys.
If I'm being honest, that spoiled stuff for me like 6 months ago.
Yeah, because that Clifford Bandai vinyl, it's
Exactly. 100%.
the sculpt is
Clifford.
beautiful.
Well, actually 6 months ago it was Barney.
Oh,
Jesus.
so they went back in and CGI'd him into
Yeah.
Clifford.
They did a Sonic.
Yeah, show Frankie's thing, Eric.
This
His
one?
very last one, the other one.
Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. Oh god. But yeah, I think that'll about do it. We could honestly just keep rambling, but I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit shorter because I know Elijah does have to go to work. And
Eventually.
as much as he wants to just sit here and talk about this stuff with us, he's got to go. So, but yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming on and discussing this with us. I mean, obviously, this is pretty awesome news, pretty exciting. Yeah, we could have just done a whole segment with just -1, but yeah, just had to throw some other things in, give some Gamera some love just because his stuff is coming out this week. So I am excited about that also.
It's
So,
less exciting than -1 then.
But with that, let's do our
Shameless
self-promotion.
self-promotion.
I'm not going to say it that way. So, Jordan, I'll let you go first, buddy.
I'll say it again. I couldn't hear.
Yeah. Your self-promotion, tag your show, anything that you have upcoming, projects, whatever.
All right, yeah. So, for everybody that doesn't know me, that is watching, my name is Jordan. Also known as the Realist Goji fan. I just recently decided to go back up on YouTube, or originally when my first YouTube channel got taken down. My most recent, and I'm still actually working on it, on Power Director. My part 3 G Fest Hall video will be up this week, and the reason why it's been on hiatus is because a lot has happened, but also I've been working on a new project of mine that I just decided, you know what, why not do it? I've always wanted to do it. I know majority of you guys here know about it, and that is my fan-made Godzilla manga called Godzilla Fury. Also, I just wanted to give a shout out to none other than my baby boy, Pickle. So, hello.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy. But yeah, other than that, thank you all for tuning in, supporting us, Kaiju content creators, and I really do hope that you guys enjoyed today's live stream.
Absolutely. All right, Elijah, I know you got a lot,
Oh, yeah.
but go ahead.
Hi, my name's Elijah, and I have a problem with loving kaiju too much.
You're a kaiju lover.
Some would say I'm a kaiju groupie.
Groupie.
You're
There
a
you
kaiju.
go.
You're a kaiju. You're a kaiju file.
Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. But if you want to see all the crazy stuff I do, I'm the host of Kaiju Conversation, a podcast diving into the wide world of kaiju, giant monsters, Japanese tokusatsu, and J horror. We did do a whole series, a whole mini series on a handful of Takashi Yamazaki films. So if you're interested in all that, we dive into the history of Yamazaki and all of those movies. Go check those out. We actually have a plot breakdown that my co-host and I, Rex, went through and went basically frame by frame all the way through. It's about 2 hours long, and we dive into all the insanity that was in the trailer. And that will be going live hopefully tomorrow. It depends how quickly we can edit it and turn it around. But you can find us on all major podcast platforms. You can also find us on Twitter at Kaiju_Converse, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to check out some of my other work, I recently uploaded my newest short film, SOS Seek Shelter, onto my YouTube channel, ET13 Productions. You can also support that channel on Twitter and Instagram at ET13 Productions. The Instagram has all of my figure photography as well. I am the production manager, head of the video department, and staff writer for Kaiju Ramen Magazine. You can go to kaijuramenmedia.com. Check out, I am proud to say I was the first person in the English language to publish an article about Takashi Yamazaki's upcoming Godzilla movie. I will hold that very high for the next couple of months as I continue to have an obsession with my new favorite Japanese film director. But yeah, you can purchase digital copies of all of our issues 1 through 9. We also still have a few physical copies left of issue 9 if you're interested. And pre-orders are up for issue 10, where I interviewed Donnie Winter on his YouTube work, if that's something that interests you. Besides that, I also wrote a segment in the book Giant Bug Cinema, a monster kid's guide, diving into Ghidorah the three-headed monster. Besides that, I think that's it. I think that's for the most part everything. If this was like something from like a month or two from now, I could link something else, but until some contracts and agreements are made, I can't really talk about it. But it'll be pretty exciting when it does get announced, and I can start talking about it. So that's all I got.
Nice. All right, Michael.
I'll go next because I'm definitely not scared to talk, and I don't know what it is, guys. I just keep needing to touch myself. I don't know what's going on. But Kaiju Ramen Media, Kaiju Ramen Magazine, all the things we got going on there. Eric, thank you for letting me be on the stream. And I can sincerely say I'm not going fucking anywhere. So, you know, it is what it is, boys. It is what it is. So, but Eric, thank you. You're a good friend of mine. Joe, Jordan, Elijah. Yeah, I mean, sorry I didn't contribute much to the conversation, but I guess -1.
It's okay. You are an amazing human being.
Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate that.
Just ship me my Safubis, and I'll think you're the best.
You're gonna get your damn Safubis.
Oh god.
Oh boy. But seriously, guys, this was a lot of fun. It was good. It was good to see you guys.
All right, Joe.
I agree with the chat. I think you suck.
Thank you, Joe. I think you suck too.
I'm Joe Myers. I love you, buddy. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm at Married to Kaiju. You can find me on YouTube. I'm the rudest, crudest place you'll see Godzilla, Power Rangers, and other Toku properties reviewed, unboxed, and ultimately collected. I say rudest, crudest way because I don't know how to edit. I'm not going to learn how to edit. So everything is one take. You get what you get. But I got a lot of cool shit. So check me out. I'd really appreciate it. And also on the Monsters with Attitude Facebook group, where we want to see your collections and videos and topics of conversation. So, and Eric, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done an episode of the Lowdown, so I've been really clamoring to do another one. So I was like, you know what, just got to pull the trigger and just do it, and hopefully I can get on more of a regular basis and stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff coming up and everything. And yeah, like they said, I'm part of Monsters Attitude also, so you can check us out there. Do stream a month and everything. Our next one coming up, I think September 23rd, I believe, is Zone Fighter actually. So not a lot of love for Toho's version of Ultraman. But I absolutely love it. It's going to be great. Actually, the guy below me is going to be on that show with us. So that'll be awesome to have him there. And hopefully everybody else can join and talk about the fighter of the zone and everything. But yeah, this is great. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I do unboxings and reviews of figures, and then every so often I do a live chat like this and stuff like that, talking about great things. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. It was really fun, and yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed it. So, but enough with the Michael bashing, I guess. I'll close out the stream before it gets too rough here.
All right.
But
Bye,
yeah,
bye, kids.
thanks everybody, and catch you later.